In 3, 2, 1.
John, are we live?
We are live, sir.
Hey, guys. Welcome to our, I think it's 8th or 9th, John?
8th. Number 8 we are.
Our 8th live WheelHouse show. We made it to 8. We survived. We still have some fans, some people who are watching. I did see it go live now on our page, John, so
Very
it's
good.
working. Guys, if you're listening, if we have any audio-related issues, just let us know in the comment section. John and I will try to adjust it as the show goes on. John, what's going on? How was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was very good. I was in Arizona for a few days, and then a buddy of mine got married on Sunday, and we recovered on Monday. That was about it. How about you, sir?
You recovered in a day? You're a little old to recover in a day, buddy.
I'm a professional. I bounce back quick.
Yeah. I'm like a 3-4 day. I went to the Cubs game on Saturday, and I didn't even drink that much. But by the time Sunday rolled around, because Sunday was still kind of like Saturday with the long weekend,
Right.
I was dying. But I didn't even drink that much. I'm getting old.
It was hot out. I mean, it was brutal out there to be sitting at Wrigley Field.
It was brutal. It was a night-ish game, so it was like 6:15, so it had cooled off a little bit by the time we got there, and we got there at like 7 because we're not huge baseball fans, but I have shared season tickets, and Jamie was like, we got to go to one of the games, so went to one of the games, and they lost, but we drank.
Did you have fun, though?
I did.
Oh.
Wrigley has become crazy. I've driven by it since they did all of the renovations. It's incredible how much stuff they've done in Wrigley. It's crazy to me. Before we get to our guest, though, John, I have over my shoulder
You do.
a shirt that says Brody Strong and Chandler Strong. And for those of you listening, this story is incredible. I'm going to let John tell it because they're friends of John and Maggie's. At least their kids are friends of John and Maggie's.
Right.
And it's unbelievable. So, John, passing it to you. Tell the story.
I will make it quick, but it's pretty remarkable and pretty important to hear. Everybody will see at this point a GoFundMe account on their screen. A gentleman named Brody Burnell, 18-year-old dynamic individual, has his pilot license. He and a buddy of his were going up in a 2-seater. His buddy's name is Chandler, hence the hashtag Chandler Strong as well. They lost. I've never met either of these gentlemen. I am getting the story from a friend of Maggie, who's Brody's mom. So it's sort of I'm going to do an abbreviated, but there's a lot more to the story. Brody, dynamic individual, like I said, piloting the airplane, the 2-seater, they lost power at takeoff, and somehow he was able to bring the plane down without harming or killing anybody on the ground, homes around the airport. It was just he and his buddy Chandler that took the wallop. Chandler, he was injured, but less than Brody. He was able to bounce back a little bit. God bless you for that, Chandler. I believe he's an entrepreneur, from what I understand, so we like him even more for that. But Brody, I wrote some notes down. He was in, this all happened 10 months ago. He was in the ICU for a month. And in a month's time, he had 9 surgeries, brain surgeries and bodily surgeries. And the surgeons, doctors, everybody that was taking care of him kept telling his parents, listen, we don't know exactly what's going to go on. We don't know. We don't want to give you false hope. And every single thing that they seemed negative about, Brody was able to do and continue to get better and get better and get better. So he was moved from the hospital that he was at in Arizona to a rehab facility in Denver named the Craig Hospital, and spent the last 8 or 9 months there learning to walk and talk and hold a fork and use a knife and just everything that we all take for granted. And I wanted to put the T-shirt and tell his story just because there's, I believe in the power of positive thinking and love and prayers and so on. And this family has gotten a ton from their family and friends as far as support. This is just our way of telling him to keep fighting the fight and keep coming back and you know, God must have a plan for you to still be here. This is fantastic. He's coming home today from Denver on flight 5718. And so during the show, I'll put up a graphic with the hashtag 5718, and that's what that's for. It's his flight number home, that he finally gets to be home with his family and surrounded by his friends and continue his rehab. So Brody Burnell, keep fighting the fight. Chandler, keep moving along. I'm sure that the mental scars are just as deep as the physical scars, but we're all on your side. And to everybody's family, wish you all the best.
Wow. I mean, you pretty much said it all, John, but I'll just kind of piggyback on that. Best of luck to Brody on the rest of his recovery, and Chandler. Unbelievable story, and that whole idea of him being told that he had no chance to walk, no chance to talk, and people giving up on hope for him, and then him coming through and coming home today is an incredible story. I would love to have him on when he's good enough to be on.
That would be. I know that we're going to start doing Skype interviews.
Yeah.
So that we can broaden the guest range, and we both have people in different markets that we want to talk to. But I really do, whether it's Brody or his parents, to tell the story far better than what I just told it, because there's so much more to it. But just wonderful individuals, positive thinkers. As you might imagine, I'm going to take a quick second and put that GoFundMe back up, because while it's a fantastic story, and I know that they have insurance, but just the amount of hospital bills and rehab bills, and even now, with him being home, there's still so much care that needs to be given and taken of him, and so on, and so much more rehab to be done that isn't covered, or partially covered maybe. But that 80-20 that insurance companies tout, that's great, but 20% of a ton is a lot.
I can't even imagine.
No, I can't either. I wouldn't want to guess. It's not, and it's none of our business. But the GoFundMe, it's not a 501c3. Nobody saw this coming. This wasn't. But it's just the T-shirts also. I will put that up in a minute.
Yeah, I'd love to get a T-shirt from whoever made the
T-shirt. So right, I just put that graphic up as well. So the T-shirt orders. The T-shirts, American-made T-shirts. I have another one that I've worn. It's very comfortable. They're asking $20. It's $1.95, I think, to ship nationwide. But it goes towards his rehab, all the bills that they've accrued over the year or so, and his continued bills and so on for the rehab he has to go through. So I'm going to, from time to time, while we're talking with our guest, I'm going to make sure to keep putting that up, maybe break in every once in a while, and just to remind everybody what we're doing here. So I am going to throw it back to you, Mo.
Yeah, count me in for some T-shirts. And for those of you listening, like John said, he's an incredible guy who's come a very long way from his accident. And we'll talk about this a little bit. We're going to talk about fighting in a different sense with Lalo in a second. But the mind is a really, really strong thing, and it can do incredible things when you put your mind to it. And it sounds like he's done that. But obviously going forward, if you're in a position where you can help this family out at all, any little bit will help. Please do that. Obviously, the GoFundMe GoFundMe link is on the video itself, but John and I, after the video is done, we'll put it in the comments section as well, so you guys can just click on it and then go to his GoFundMe page.
Absolutely.
And obviously, for the email, I just saw it on the screen, the email for the T-shirts, I'll put that in the comment section as well, so you guys can just copy that, send it out, and best of luck again to Brody, Chandler, both their families. And I saw Maggie posted on the video in the comment section that he's on his way home from Omaha right now. So kudos to him. I'm sure everybody's really excited to have him.
Absolutely.
Crazy story. And obviously a happy ending here for what could have been a tougher ending.
Even more disastrous. Absolutely.
Yeah. Plane crashes, they spook me out. We spoke about it a little bit before the show started, but I'm very, very happy that he's coming home. So hashtag Brody Strong, hashtag Chandler Strong. I'm going to talk about a different sort of fighting in a second here with our guest. We're supposed to have two guests. One of our guests had a little bit of a emergency and couldn't make it in today, but that's cool by me because I always have enough time to chat with our guests. I always feel like I'm running out of time, and I could talk to this guy probably for a very long time. So I'm excited. We got Lalo Baes, right?
Yes, sir.
On. He's one of the owners, or the owner, of Oakley Street Fight Club. I'm really excited to have him on because he's an incredible boxer himself, a great business person. He's been a big supporter of the Real Estate Rumble, which was the charity we were pushing, and the fights happened now 2 weeks ago.
Just shy 2 weeks.
It's crazy that it's been that long because it was a hectic day that day. Lalo's amassed a amateur record, a winning amateur record. He had 30 amateur fights. He's won the Golden Gloves. He's won the Illinois State Tournament. He's won ringside world tournaments. And now he's devoting his time to training fighters. He's got some fighters that are going to the Junior Olympics. I'll let him explain that because I may have that completely wrong. Really excited to have you on, buddy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for inviting me on. Thank you. And first off, God bless Brody and Chandler. I mean, it's an amazing story.
It really is.
I hope they pull through 100%. You know, that's wonderful that you shared that with everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm still in shock. He told me the story when John told me the story when he came in with the T-shirt earlier, and I couldn't believe it because you see plane crashes, they typically go very, very wrong very quickly.
Yeah.
He's 18 years old to be able to have the piloting ability and experience in that moment to think under pressure and be able to land the plane without hitting anybody else or put the plane someplace where he wouldn't hurt anybody else. It's just the ability for him to think quickly on his feet is incredible. Usually when you're in stressful situations, people go one of two ways.
Sure.
You know, I race cars. I've done some martial arts. We'll talk about it in boxing. But when things go wrong for people, some people are able to think really intelligently and in the moment, and some people just can't.
Yep,
You know,
exactly.
so. Tell me about Oakley. When did you guys start Oakley?
We opened up Oakley in 2013.
Okay.
We were at another boxing gym, Eckerd Park, on Chicago and Noble, and it was just a small basement boxing gym. A lot of neighborhood guys, a lot of little kids, a lot of good boxers were out of there, and the city cut the funding for it. There was no more programs, so it displaced a lot of kids. And then my partner Carlos and myself started shopping around for a spot because we were like, we don't need the city, we'll do our own thing. And we found a great spot not too far from Eckerd, so the kids in the neighborhood could still make it to the gym relatively
Awesome.
close. It's about a mile away. We found a spot on 410 North Oakley and we dubbed it Oakley Fight Club.
I love it.
And second floor of a warehouse, 6,000 square feet. Perfect location for a gym. We put in a lot of work into it. We have 2 rings. We do private one-on-one training. We do classes. We have professional boxers, amateur boxers, people that don't even want to box. They just want to come and run on the treadmill and lift weights. So
Yeah.
we try to be accessible to everybody. In that time, we've amassed a pretty good competition team, largest female team in the city at the
Wow,
moment.
good for you guys.
It's an exciting time at the gym, so we look to keep going. As you touched on before, a little earlier, we do have 2 kids in the Junior Olympics.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. We had won the state. They both won the state Junior Olympics, which moved them on to the Regional Junior Olympics this past weekend in Toledo, Ohio. They won there, so now they advance on to the National Junior Olympics in Charleston, West Virginia, and that's at the end of June.
Good luck
So
to them.
yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited.
And that's not easy to do. I don't think people realize this is not like I'm going to crap on some sport in a second and somebody's going to send a comment that says I'm an idiot in a second. But it's not like going to state for lacrosse or something where like there's not 1,000 teams and a ton of people competing.
Yeah.
Even at the junior level, it's a really tough sport.
Oh, it's very tough. It's very tough. Weigh-ins every morning, so you have to maintain your weight the whole length of the tournament that you're in it. You have to be up early, fight every day. So it's not like you take a day off and then fight
Right.
again. You have to fight Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's single elimination. So you lose once and
You're
that's
out.
it. You go home.
That's so hard, the consistently staying on weight, because
Weight alone is a
Alone?
war. Just weight alone is a war.
Because, you know, I mean, you think about like high school wrestlers and stuff. They compete and they always stay on weight, but it's not like you're competing every single day consistently
Yeah.
and then you're kicked out of a
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
It's high stress. You got to stay on weight. And then you weigh in day of. It's not
Yes.
like I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Some of them you weigh in day of. The IBJJF you weigh in day of. But a lot of them you weigh in the day before. And then I might weigh 145 the day before, and the next day I'm 160 because I've eaten got my
Exactly,
weight up.
yeah.
But you can't do that when you weigh in day
No,
of.
no. You in amateur boxing, you weigh in an hour or two prior to you compete, and then you just go out there and give it your best. Yes.
I'm going to ask a quick question here. I've never understood, and Mo, you know a lot about this as well, but why don't they do that in the pros? You know, whether it's UFC, it's usually 24 or 48 hours.
Yeah,
in
they give
advance.
them a day.
And then it's same thing with, I mean, there's so many different boxing leagues at the high ranks. I don't know if all of them follow this, but I've never understood why there's that gap. Why don't they do it an hour or two prior?
Yeah, they it's all professional boxing. You get 24 hours.
24?
Yeah, the
Okay.
day before. Amateur boxing is the day of. It's
Okay.
pretty much the difference between the two. One
what
is
do you-
amateur,
why do you
one
think that
pro.
is?
And then it's same thing with like headgear. Amateurs wear headgear and jerseys. Professionals no headgear, no jerseys.
Okay.
It's just the difference between the two in the sport. So
Any idea, though,
no,
why
I
they...
have no idea why though. But that's the. And then amateurs don't get paid. Professionals get paid.
Sure.
You know, there's a big push in mixed martial arts, at least, to try to fix this sort of gigantic weight cut thing.
Right.
And I don't know how much in boxing, how big they cut. I know in MMA, you got guys that are 200 pounds that cut to 170, just so they can be overwhelmingly bigger, control them. Because in the wrestling aspect and the grappling, a whole lot of weight can wear somebody down when you're just kind of weighing on them. But I know now the UFC and a lot of the athletic associations are starting to mandate new weight cutting rules where you have to be within a certain weight, even when you're kind of replenished. But yeah, there's been kind of a big push to go before, but it would shake up all of the weight classes, because a lot of the champions are much heavier than what they weigh in at.
Exactly.
So money's a big piece of all of this, So like when you force that to get all reshuffled and champions change and marketability changes, I think that's probably a big reason behind it. But yeah, there's people who fall out because they get sick. They pass out on the way to cutting weight. I saw, it was a couple of UFCs ago, they pulled a fight because a guy he couldn't make weight. He was actually it was the Max Holloway fight when Max Holloway stepped in to fight for the featherweight belt. And Max Holloway is a warrior. He's like a guy from Hawaii, like big on like kind of the warrior spirit. And he took the fight last minute. And he was really heavy. And the athletic commission was like, no. Even though you might make weight, it's unsafe for you, and they stopped him.
Yeah, because you can't make the weight healthy. I've seen it in the amateurs as well. He actually is a friend of mine. At the Golden Gloves many years ago, they found him passed out in the locker room. This is back at St. Andrews when the Golden Gloves used to be there. He was trying to make weight, and he just couldn't do it, and he literally passed out on the scale.
Yeah, that's really dangerous day of. So I've done it where I've cut a lot of weight the day before, and it's really stupid for me to do it because I'm doing an amateur jiu-jitsu tournament where you win nothing, and it's not for anything, but the competitive spirit in you, you're like,
for sure,
exactly, trying to get whatever benefit I can. And I cut 15, 16 pounds one time.
Wow.
And I'll never do that again. I'm also getting older and I can't do it anymore. But, from running with a sauna suit and albaline to laying in a bath of Epsom salt and green alcohol, like a really hot bath, I was dying when I was done.
Yeah.
But I couldn't imagine for the Golden Gloves, that makes a lot of sense right before because you don't have a lot of time to replenish.
You don't. You see a lot of kids take the Pedialyte or Gatorade. Yeah. As soon as they weigh in, they're chugging it. Chugging it. And the hard thing is, you got to do it again next week or the next day, because you're in a tournament. So if you're barely making weight that one day, and think you're going to win, and then hold that weight for a month, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's
do you
really
advocate
difficult.
People to stay close to their fighting
I do.
weight?
Yes. And actually, for my younger boxers, my teenage boxers who are still growing, my 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, I'm not huge on cutting big weight. If you're floating around 130 and you have to get to say 127, okay, 3 pounds, you can do 3 pounds. If you're like, I'm 130, but I'm going to make 119, you're not making 119. You're not going to make 119 because then you have to hold it and you're growing. You just make yourself weak.
True. That's, I guess, the other mitigating factor in a kid is they grow.
Puberty.
I only
they're all in puberty.
In fat, but they're growing in height. They grow in every which way.
They're just growing. So
crazy. And they put on muscle at different rates.
Exactly. So I'm like, nope. This is the last time you're going to make this weight. After this fight or tournament or show, you're moving up to the next weight class. And they don't argue too much with me. They're like, okay.
But that's a cool thing because I started karate when I was 4, and I've read an article about how it was about wrestlers in general. It was when they were trying to get wrestling out of the Olympics. They were saying that wrestlers make such great business people because the discipline level for them is so high. Mm-hmm. Boxing, any martial art, any of these sports, physical sports, I feel like those kids, their discipline level is so much higher than kids in other sports.
Truly, their discipline level. That's, a lot of the boxing, they try to get kids into boxing to discipline them because you can't be good in any sport. Really, you have to be disciplined. But in this one, maybe I don't want to say any more than any other, but there is a lot of discipline. You have to be at the gym every day because there are no seasons in boxing. It's all year round.
Exactly, that's true too.
No seasons. So you have to be at the gym regular. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay on weight. You have to be patient because not every time you're going to get a fight. You can show up and ready to fight, and then the guy doesn't show up, and now
you're so let down.
You're so let down. But I was like, it happens. It happens all the time. So you have to understand, patience in there. All right, next one. And then you're not going to win every fight. Yeah. So with that, then you have to know. All right, control myself. I can't get mad. I can't lose my cool.
Yeah.
All right. So it's all about discipline. It all comes back down to discipline.
It's unbelievable how many parallels in sports, contact sports, and individual sports there are to just life and business in general.
Oh, totally.
There's so many. Everything you just touched on, showing up every single day, having patience, not dealing with failure poorly or learning to deal with failure poorly. When you're a business owner, if you're not patient, you're not consistent, and you can't deal with
Exactly.
failing,
Oh my God,
you're
exactly.
done.
Yeah.
So I love that people. I tell people all the time, doing martial arts my whole life, I think has been a big key to me just being a successful person in general. I hate losing to this day. I mean, I just really
who
likes it,
who
right?
likes it, you know?
But I look at it so differently than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if I lost a basketball game, and yes, I played basketball until I stopped growing in the 8th grade, it pissed me off. I would go home and just like pout for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And in boxing and all martial arts, you have a team. So you have a coach, you have a team. But so much of it relies on you doing the right
Yes.
things that when you lose at martial arts, it's a very individual feeling.
Totally.
You go home and the loss is on you and you have to deal with that.
Yep.
Being able to bounce back from it. Now, as an adult, I look at failure as if you're not trying hard enough, you're probably not failing. And if you're failing, it's because you're trying really hard at something. You know, I see this a lot in boxing. So one thing I always see in boxing where I'm like, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense is how you sometimes get a really good boxing guy with like a 1-20 record.
Yeah.
I'm going off topic and just completely changing in a second. How does that work out?
Okay, and if you're, say, you're an upcoming kid,
Yeah.
the next stud or whatever,
Yeah.
they're feeding you tomato cans to pad your record a little bit, to be able to get you some ring experience, maybe to get you signed by a promoter. It's like, look at my record, I'm 13-0, you know, with 10 knockouts, you know.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the competition, you see it's
Pretty
very
bad.
lopsided, But it does help you get maybe a big fight,
Right.
because maybe the next big thing, you're like, okay, I'm going to fight this guy. He has a padded record, but he's undefeated. Nobody checks the record. They just see
Right.
like who you fought. They just see that you're undefeated.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat an undefeated guy.
And the audience doesn't. I mean, I'm a huge fan of all things contact sports, so I'll actually go and look at boxing
Yeah.
records and see their opponents.
Yes.
And I actually, on the MMA side, I can't say I gamble, I guess, but I'm in a pool. But I'm in a pool where we pick winners, and then for entertainment purposes only, for no value, and I won't name who runs the pool, but we have a pool, and I look at everybody's records against who they've fought before. When you look at boxing, sometimes it's padded. How the guys were like 1-15. Do you ever meet those guys and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Still getting in there.
Yeah, I have met a couple of them, and they get in there for various reasons. Most of them because they need a couple bucks, to be honest with
Really?
you. They
So
need a
that's
couple
what it
bucks.
chalks up to.
They're professional losers, pretty much. I don't want to say losers,
yeah,
but
but
they're
yeah,
put
they're
in there
paid
to
to
lose.
lose.
Yeah, they know this is going to be a win for somebody. So they go in there, they give it a little bit of effort, they go down, all right, you know,
Yeah.
they collect their check, their $500 check, $600 check, and they call it a day.
That's the sad part about all fighting sports until you get to a high level, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
the pay, people look at, you look at Floyd, and he's worth basically $1 billion.
Oh, yes,
right?
yeah.
But, and you look at, in MMA, you look at like a Conor McGregor. But even in the UFC or at a high level pro boxing fight, the undercard, the low card, they're making so little money.
They're making a couple $100.
Yeah.
Couple $100. That's it.
Oh, man, that's tough.
At best, a couple thousand. They're not making much. They're not making much money.
You got to really love the sport to be able to get to a level where you're making any money at all.
Exactly. Because a lot of these guys have 9-to-5s. They're professional boxers, but have 9-to-5s. Look at, for example, Mickey Ward.
Yeah.
Mickey Ward was a construction worker.
Yeah.
Was Mickey Ward. I mean, everybody knew Mickey Ward, but he was still a construction worker because he needed a steady check.
It's incredible, and it's fickle. You're as good as your last fight.
Yes.
When you make it there, and if you lose, you could lose all of that. So, it's insane. I have a lot of buddies I have a good buddy of mine who manages fighters, and he does an incredible job. And I have a lot of friends that, more so on the MMA side, I got a lot of friends that have fought pro MMA, and I see what they take home, and I'm like, oh my God, you really have to love this to keep doing this.
Because, I mean, you think that's what they take home, but it's not, because you still have to pay taxes on it. You still have to pay out your corner on it. Trainer gets about 10%. Your manager, your cut man, the guy who helped you in the corner, your strength conditioning coach. By the time you take it home, you're down 60. You take home about 60%.
You're doing it for the pure love of it. When did you start boxing? Because I started boxing.
Yeah, I've been boxing a while. I'm older now. I'm 42, but I've been boxing.
You don't look 42.
I'm 42 years old. Yeah.
For you.
I started late. I started about when I was 20 years old. I moved back. I was living in California for a little bit. Grew up in Chicago, moved to California for a little bit, came back, and started boxing right when I got back. And with one of my cousins, he was a boxer as well. I started up as just helping out in the gym.
Yeah.
Spit bucket kid, just carrying
Really?
equipment, picking up kids, just volunteer. 'Cause I was doing nothing. I literally wasn't doing anything. Come home from work and watching reruns of The Simpsons. So I was like, let me do something good.
Yeah.
So I just went to the gym and said, hey, you need some help? He's like, yeah, I definitely could use some help. You know, these kids have no way of getting home or getting to the gym. I was like, no problem. I'll pick them up. I'll take them home. So I'd pick up, round up the kids, take them to the gym, clean up, set up the stuff, take them home, and just kind of help out. And then one day there was this heavyweight there, and they needed somebody to throw punches at him. He's like, you're not going to spar him, but you just got to hit him. I was like, okay, and he's got to avoid it. All right. But I kept hitting him. And he was like, you got fast hands. So he's like, let me see you on the mitts. So they put me on the mitts, and it was like, you're not bad, you know. They're like, you're going to go fight in the Golden Gloves. I was like, what? What? So I took a couple of fights, whatever. And then I fought in the gloves. And I made it to the finals. My first time up. And then I lost. I got my butt kicked in the finals. Like, trashed. I've only been dropped one time, and that was it. That was in the Golden Gloves, in the finals of the Golden Gloves. This was back in 2000, maybe. Yeah, I'd say about 2000. And then, I got my butt kicked, handed. I got 2 8 counts. I got dropped. Like, I thought I did well in the first round. I came out, and I was like, I came back. I was like, in my corner, I was like, you got the first round. You know, all you need is one more round, and you got it in the bag. I was like, okay. Man, they told him something in the corner, too. He dropped me with he was a southpaw. He dropped me with a right hook. I remember he caught me right on the chin. I looked up, and I saw the lights, and then it went dim.
Wow.
What woke me up was my head hitting the ground. Boom, and I popped right back up. I was like, I'm okay. And then he just proceeded to trounce me the next 2 rounds, and he ended up winning it. I was like, okay.
Well, kudos to you.
I learned, though. I lost. I might have lost, but I also learned a lot. It was a good lesson. It was a hard lesson.
Kudos for you to getting to the finals of the Golden Gloves, your first time boxing in it. What you just touched on, that helpless feeling when you're boxing, because I've just done it a little bit. But I tell everybody, so people always ask, what's tougher, boxing or like grappling? They're different. But when things go wrong in boxing, it's so much worse.
It is so
because
much worse.
You cannot tap out and say, I quit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somebody can throw in a towel. You could turn your head and quit, but that's not what you're taught. You're taught if your arm's about to break in jiu-jitsu, just tap, and unless the person's some sort of asshole, they're going to let go. Yeah. But they usually let go. But in boxing, when you're overwhelmed, that's a shitty feeling. You have to have real toughness to make it through.
Yeah. I mean, I was blessed to make it through all 3 rounds. But the last 2 rounds where I took a shellacking in those last 2 rounds. And I just stood there. But I fought back as best I could, being a novice guy.
Yeah.
Came out and I learned my lesson and kept training. I was mad for about a day.
Yeah.
You know, I was still novice. I didn't have my head right. All right. It took about a day and I calmed down. So I was back in the gym. I was back in the gym the next 2 days later.
It's such tough cardio. It's different cardio. I remember, shout out to my boxing coach, Mark Allen. You guys might know each other. You know Mark.
Yes.
Mark's a good dude. And when Mark was beating my butt in sparring, he's like, I'm teaching you that it's never going to get worse than this. And be tired, don't ever act tired. So that was the thing. Like, if I ever was starting to get tired, he's like, be tired, don't act tired. Be tired, don't act tired. Because it's such a thing where when you start to feel like you're losing, it's almost like the other person gets that boost of energy. Where you have to, it's such a mental game.
It is total a mental game. There are times when you actually have to be an actor as well. Like, you get caught with a hard shot, and inside you're like, oh my God, what? He just hit me with a sledgehammer. But outside, you just have to keep that poker face, like it didn't even bother you. And it's also in the mental game sense, like, oh my God, for the other guys, like, I just hit that guy with everything I had.
Right.
He's still coming at me.
Standing there.
What am I going to do now? Because that's all I have.
Yeah.
It's acting on both sides.
I love it. And I tell people, so we'll talk about the Real Estate Rumble in a second. I tell people every time we do the Real Estate Rumble and we do the open workout, I tell them, by the time you've got to the Rumble and you've done it, if you're training with a group of guys and gals at a gym like yours that knows what they're doing, you finish the Rumble. When you're done, nothing will seem as difficult as what you just did.
Yeah.
I almost feel like anybody getting into business should step foot in some sort of combat sports situation and feel the anxiety, feel the nerves, and feel the fact that you have to grit through something. And I love, because we had Camilo on 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Awesome.
The day before the Rumble.
The day before the Rumble.
Yep.
What I loved was he said you're getting in there and you're sparring with all the people from the Rumble. So I love that you actually get back in there and you still spar with everybody.
Yeah. Oh, to this day I'm still sparring. I don't. I can't spar with the open face headgear. I've had my nose broken a few times, so the doctor was all like, "Nah, you can't get hit in the nose anymore." I'm like, "Whatever." Speaking of broken noses, did Camilo tell you I broke his nose?
Yeah, he did tell us he broke his nose.
I broke Ryan's nose too.
You did?
Yeah.
Cotter?
Cotter.
Really?
Oh,
hey, Cotter,
really?
he didn't tell us that. Oh, man, we're going to give him a hard time here.
Fantastic.
Good.
I got a tattoo every time I break somebody's nose.
Holy smokes.
I get
Next time I see you, I'm going to have to see that to see if there's an eighth one on there, because there were 7 broken noses on that tattoo.
Yeah, broken seven noses.
Cotter and I sparred only 2-3 light rounds a couple.
He's
months
actually very
ago.
good.
Yeah, he is very good.
He's very good.
He's very, very good. And I wish I had known that because I was trying to talk a lot of smack to him while it was going on, and I wish I had known that because I don't talk smack to anybody, but to Cotter I love talking smack. Good. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna text him when this is done because he's upstairs. Cotter, if you're watching, we know we figured it out. Back to a little bit of a business topic there. Do you think that you're a very successful business owner now? You guys have grown. I can't believe that you guys started in 2013 because when you visit Oakley, it's a really cool space. You got a lot of boxers, obviously a lot of successful boxers. You got people going to Junior Olympics. So kudos to you guys. That's incredible. That's very fast to get very successful within 5 years. Do you see a lot of things translating from being a fighter to now being a business owner?
Actually, I'm still both because
Yeah.
I'm still
both,
in there.
yeah.
I'm still in the ring. If it wasn't for the broke nose, I'd still be competing. Honestly,
Really?
there would be no doubt about it. I still would be competing. I love this too much. It's boxing is like a chess game. You
Yeah.
know, everybody thinks it's savage and brutal, but it's a thinking man's game, and it's like business too. It's like chess. You have to plan out your moves
Right.
and execute accordingly. You know, I have a game plan. I have a strategy.
Right.
By this time, I want this accomplished, done. I'm going to do this combination, or I'm going to hit them in this specific spot to set up something else. So both I liken to chess, which I was actually my favorite game. I love
Really?
chess.
You were a fan of chess?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of chess.
I'm a fan of chess too. We should get a chessboard in here.
That'd be kind of cool.
You know what's strange
Really
is
interesting video watching two people play
two
chess.
people for 1 hour play chess. You know what's crazy is that when he says that, I think actually about a lot of people that I do martial arts with, and a lot of them like chess too, and a lot of them end up becoming business owners. It's funny seeing the parallels there now, seeing people who like this stuff because it is human chess. And business is chess. You're right.
It
Never
is.
thought about business as chess, but it is chess. I love that. For the Rumble folks, you guys train them like you're training the actual boxers. Right?
Oh,
They're
yeah,
going
definitely.
through,
Yes.
they're sparring, they're having a real camp,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. We put them through a rigorous workout. The way I would train my Golden Glove fighters is the same way that I
love that.
trained my real estate Rumble fighters. Even though they're white collar, it doesn't make a difference. They're still doing the same thing. It's all relative. It's still boxing. They're still getting in the ring. And you have to be a very brave person just to step in the ring. Win or lose, you're brave to get in there because you're willingly going in there to get punched in the face.
And the crazy thing about the Rumble is, because I've seen some smoker shows and stuff where some friends, some family shows up, you have all of your peers there.
Yeah.
I always tell people, it's crazy when you get in there because you have 1,000 people watching you. 1,000 people is a pretty big crowd for a small boxing event. And you have your coworkers, you have your friends. A lot of people, they do so many smoker events, but not a lot of people know that they're about to compete in it. So if it goes dramatically wrong, not too many people found out. You go home and you feel bad about that.
Yeah.
But boxing in front of everybody you know is a really nerve-wracking thing.
It is. It totally is. You're nervous in the sense like, holy cow, I could get hurt right now. But then you're also nervous like, oh my God, all my friends and family are out there to watch me get hurt or something like that.
And it's weird. I mean, organized contact sports to me is strange because I've gotten into, when I was a lot younger, a couple fist fights. But in the moment, you get into an altercation, it's like, all right, now here's the fight. It happens. There's no time to think, and you have to fight.
Yeah.
To know you're about to go in a week, 2 weeks, a day, an hour, about to go in there and physically fight somebody, you don't have the fight or flight type adrenaline. That is weird. It's weird for people the first time they experience it.
Yeah, totally. It's because going up to it, your nerves start kicking in. Like, oh my God, this is really happening. Like you said, in a fight, just a regular street fight, it just happens. Boom, and it's over relatively quick. And with not too much damage. Usually they get broken up relatively quick.
Yeah.
But in this, it's going to be elongated. Unless you land that lucky punch or they land that lucky punch and they just get stopped, or you're just overmatched. And they stop it. And you never want that to happen. But the nerves start kicking in and you're like, what am I doing? I could be at home having a beer instead of here.
Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this? Am I an idiot or something? But
it's worth it.
It is totally worth it. When you're done, it is totally worth it because there's nothing like winning. There's nothing like and winning in the sense where you're doing it in front of your peers and you're doing it in a savage style. You look like the alpha. You're out there, you're dominating another person, and there's no higher high and there's no lower low when you're on the other end.
100%.
Feel terrible. Going back to my Golden Gloves, because to me, my record was 25-5. I had 5 losses, and the other ones were I lost. Whatever, like 1 or 2 were questionable, but whatever. I took it.
It's a really good record, by the way.
I did well. I did pretty well. But that was the worst beating I took. Was that mentally? It was the mental aspect because, like you said, all my cousins and family, my mom, my sister, my brothers, my cousins were all there. And then my high school friends came out to see me, like, oh, you made it to the championship. We're going to see you. We're all going to come out. And then for me to perform the way I did, whereas they didn't see me prior to that, my performances, they just saw me get my butt kicked. And I was so embarrassed. I was so hurt. I went out there, I smiled, and I thanked them for coming, but I was hurt for a day. I was embarrassed, But you just get back on the horse and keep riding.
It's there's this quote, and actually this is a quote that I love. So maybe because John has a cool flag, and then there's some WheelHouse stuff. Maybe I'll get this quote printed out and put it behind me. It's the man in the arena. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's really cool, and it's a long quote, and it talks about the person who actually gets in there and is the person in the arena shouldn't be judged by those who don't have the bravery to do it.
Exactly.
But you always feel that way.
That's
I heard somebody this year at the Rumble. And I was walking somebody down, so I couldn't really turn around and be like, you're freaking wrong. But if you're listening somehow, you're wrong. Was talking about how
thank you for buying a ticket.
Thank you for buying a ticket. Talking about how terrible the person did in there. And I'm like, you can't judge them sitting here drinking a beer. Don't you dare judge somebody who got in there and did everything they could to put everything in line.
Yes.
But you feel bad. I mean, the bravery that goes into it is humongous.
It's huge. I'll respect to anybody, even the paid losers, the tomato cans that get in there. They're getting in there. They know what they're getting themselves into. They're willingly going in there to get hit, to, I don't know, take a dive, but they know they're going to put up a little struggle and go down and lose. But the others that go in there and they give it their all, they're willing to get in there. Like everybody at the Real Estate Rumble gave it their all.
Yeah, they did.
It was an amazing show. Yeah. Everybody went out there with that mindset, I'm going to win.
And thank you to you, because you've been such a big supporter of the Real Estate Rumble, for consistently training people, being passionate about it. You've opened up your gym graciously many times to the open workouts, and your guys and gals kick butt. So you guys do a really good job with them. So if you're looking to box next year, he's one of the guys you got to give a call to, because his people kick butt.
We do all right.
Guys and gals do really well. We were talking about Miguel. We got to have him on sometime. Watching him box was 2 years ago. He fought the kid from the McGeary boxing gym, and that was good. That was a fun fight to watch. I'd watch that fight again.
He's a very fun boxer to watch. Miguel, even at the
tough.
gym. He was in the gym yesterday, and I was kind of a little annoyed with him. So if you're listening, Miguel, I'm still a little annoyed with you for what you did yesterday. He got in there with a professional boxer who easily outweighed him by 20 pounds.
Yeah.
The guy was a 10-round fighter who has a fight coming up. Miguel he's in there and he spars all the time, but he's not fighting shape. This guy could have really hurt him.
Yeah.
And I kept a very close eye on it, and I could see Miguel was gassing after the first. He was out drinking all weekend. This guy has a fight coming up on June 8th. He's in fight mode. He's in kill mode. So I was very worried. I was very worried about Miguel when he got in there with the guy, and I was like, I expressed my concern about it. I was like, you freaking a knucklehead who set this up, man. He's like, it's cool, and I was like, it's not cool. It's not cool. So now I wanted to go home, but now I'm not, because I'm worried about you, and I'm going to sit here and make sure everything went okay. He did take a couple hard shots, but nothing he couldn't handle. But I just wanted to make sure that this guy was on the level and not trying to kill one of my boxers.
And that shows a lot in you giving enough care to a guy who's training with you to stick around, not go home, and make sure that he's okay. Because I've been in boxing gyms where I've seen people get in there with somebody who's a total mismatch, and nobody's watching over them.
Exactly.
And you're like, holy. It's not like grappling. Like, you can train in jiu-jitsu as hard as you want. And jiu-jitsu is an incredible sport. I'm super passionate about it. It's probably the martial art I'm most passionate about. But I can train against a world champion and spar against them and do a match. And he's going to steamroll me. But I'm going to tap and get out of it, and then go on to the next person, be overwhelmed, and say, holy smokes, that guy's really good. Like one of our guests, Lawrence, is a black belt, and he always takes it easy on me. But even when he kicks my butt, he's not killing me. But in boxing, if you get in there and the guy starts hitting you really hard and a lot, you can get really hurt.
You can get really, really hurt really, really fast. So I had to make sure everything was on.
He's a tough guy.
And he's a very tough guy. And sometimes
toughness is too tough for your
he's too tough for his own good. And there's a lot of boxers like that. Yeah. And I know he can handle himself, and he works with everybody, and he'll always go at their level. But somebody that big, I was legitimately concerned about.
Growing up, any favorite boxers you loved?
Growing up,
or even now?
Well, growing up, I was always a huge fan of Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
Naturally,
my dad's favorite boxer, by the way.
Yeah, like every other Mexican kid growing up was.
Yeah.
As I get older and I watched more and my sights broadened, let's just say like this day, I would say that my three favorite boxers now are Juan Manuel Marquez,
Tough too.
Salvador Sanchez, and Ricardo Finito Lopez are my three favorite boxers.
I love it. So Julio Cesar Chavez was my dad's favorite boxer growing up because my dad had actually moved to Mexico for 4 or 5 years in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
And he was in Guadalajara, Mexico. So as a kid, we watched everything that he did because my dad was a humongous fan.
Yeah.
His son's not quite as
No.
good as his dad was.
Actually,
but
a lot of the children of boxers who decide to become boxers are definitely not the same caliber.
well, his son grew up very rich because his dad
Yeah.
eventually became a very successful fighter.
Yes.
And his dad grew up fighting and made his way through fighting.
Yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily 100% of the reason, but it could be a lot of skill set, how they were trained. But I think it's a big portion
Yeah.
there.
The kid, his son was just a brat.
Yeah,
essentially.
he's
Just
rich.
came out. He was
Loaded.
rich. He not disciplined. He was thrown the tomato cans. He
Yeah.
actually fought a friend of mine coming up, and my friend Carlos Molina, clearly beat him, and they called it a draw. And the place, and this was in Mexico, the place exploded. And Chavez went in the ring, and they were throwing beer in the ring
Yeah.
at the decision. Like they just went bananas in the because everyone was clearly my friend had beat
Yeah.
Chavez Jr., but no, that wasn't going to happen in
It
Mexico.
wasn't gonna happen in Mexico.
It wasn't going to happen in Mexico.
Yeah, that's the corrupt winning/losing/judges decisions.
Yeah.
Is really kind of messed up in all combat sports. And then sometimes like that's the big one recently, Canelo and Triple G.
Oh, yeah.
That decision and Aldeline Bride or Baird or whatever her name
Adeline
is.
Bird,
Adeline
yeah.
Bird. She's had some seriously questionable MMA calls, and then that one you were just like, what did you do?
Yeah, it was.
That was a
Yikes.
tough
Yeah,
one.
I thought
Yeah.
Triple G clearly won that fight. But you got to call it. They call it a draw.
Yeah.
It's not anybody's fault, but the
No,
judges.
yeah.
Everyone's out there to do their job.
They fought their asses off. So kudos to both of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be able to run that back.
Yeah. We'll see. There are negotiations right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen at this time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll see. But I would love to watch it again. I'd
Yeah.
love
They're both
to
tough.
see that again. Yeah, definitely. They're talking about possibly Triple G fighting Charlo, which
Okay.
I think I have to lean towards Charlo beating Triple
Really?
G. Yeah.
Okay,
I do,
good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad. I'm a McGregor fan. I knew he was going to lose to Floyd,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm glad he's not jumping in there with anyone else of that caliber because they had that whole like, oh, he wants to fight Triple G now, and I'm like, he'll murder you.
Yes. Triple G will murder him.
You will because he's a murderous puncher.
Yeah.
Where Floyd intelligently wore him down and then
Exactly. Whereas Triple G will just steamroll him right off the bat.
yeah, we'll
Just
jump on
finish
it.
him.
Canelo too. They were saying Canelo,
Yeah,
and I was like,
Canelo,
Canelo's a
same thing.
murderous puncher
Yeah,
too.
he's
That's
a
gonna
murderous
be
puncher too as well. Both of them would go out there and
just
legitimately
absolutely murder him. Yeah,
Hurt him.
And I was like,
He's not
unless one of them goes to MMA, which none of them will do because it makes zero sense.
Yes.
You should not be fighting those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. The only one I'd like to see maybe box him would be Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah, because they don't like each other.
They don't like each other, and Paulie Malignaggi doesn't have that devastating punch
Yeah.
that the other two have.
Yeah.
He would make it competitive.
I saw the little bits of the clips of them doing the sparring.
Yeah.
And sparring should not be leaked out, but I know they talked a lot of crap. So
Yeah.
I think they would have a good build up. They'd sell a lot of tickets,
Oh, for sure.
and pay-per-views would get sold because both of them talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, they're both shit talkers. So hey,
And Connor's bigger than he is by a lot.
yeah, definitely.
But the condition showed. So that's the piece of conditioning which you saw that a guy who is incredibly conditioned as an athlete by what was around 6 or 7, you could just kind of see that
Yeah,
fitting.
because that's boxing is just a different type of conditioning.
animal.
It's a different type of conditioning.
And it's a different use of your muscles. So in grappling, it's a completely different use of muscles. Because I remember when the first couple times I sparred, I was a little bit out of shape now, but I was in really good shape. And then when I started boxing, I was like, wait, that was like 30, 40 seconds. I'm dying. I can't breathe. I'm like sucking in air. And, my arms are pretty heavy. So my arms were heavy. I couldn't keep my hands up. And I'm like,
The
what the hell's
gloves
happening?
are
to me?
16 ounces. That's a pound on each
pound
hand.
on
You
each
have to
hand.
hold up.
Yeah, so that was tough. We always kind of ask our guests to give a piece of business advice. I mean, you've done incredible. I don't know if business was something you always wanted to get into, or you just kind of followed your passion and now
Yeah,
you're in business.
that's exactly what it was.
You followed
I
passion,
just
which is
followed my passion.
the best way to really do it because you're passionate about what you do. Any advice for somebody who's getting into business in general, or even with a fight gym in general? It can be even more specific to just opening up a gym. Any advice for anybody?
Just location is always if you want a successful gym. I mean, it's one thing to have successful fighters. That's a great coaches there. But in order to keep the lights on and the doors open, you have to have some kind of revenue.
Right.
Location is key. You have to have a place that is easily accessible to, people want to come to. That's going to keep the doors open. Honestly, it's location is key. I'm blessed to have a decent location with free parking and free street parking. It's just there's a bus stop
close to transportation.
And we're near a trendy neighborhood in West Town, so we get a lot of the West Town people to come in, and I love it. Thank you very much. Its location is key. Location now that you have a location, now you have to have a great staff.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to come if everybody, your staff sucks, So you have an energetic and dynamic staff, and then winners.
Yeah.
You got to have winners there because they don't want to be at a gym where everyone's losing,
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy because it really is such a big piece of it, right? I mean, and you guys have an incredible atmosphere. Your location, you're 100% right, is very accessible. It's a great gym. You guys have all the tools in there, rings, bags,
It's a cool-looking facility as well.
Great-looking facility with the loft space. But your staff is great, and it starts with the top. I mean, every time I've met you, your energy is high. You're always happy. You're always excited, and I think that probably pays such dividends to the rest of the people.
Yes, exactly. Because it's contagious.
Yeah,
it's totally your attitude is contagious. If you come in there all like, rah, and people are like that as well. If you come in there and you're like, "What's up, guys? Hey, how's it going? Let's get to work. Oh, we're gonna do this today," and you got to be a little witty and talk a little smack. Be a little exciting, and then they feed off of it, and it shows.
It's crazy when I have bad days, and I coach and train in a totally different way. I coach and train realtors and business owners and growing their business every day. But I have terrible days, just like I'm sure you do.
Yeah, for
things
sure.
go on. But I know that when I walk in there, I cannot be the person that carries my attitude in there, because the moment I have an issue, then you can see everybody else's mood kind of drops. So kudos to you, because obviously your gym is very, very successul. Your students are very successful. You guys are winners.
Yeah.
Even up to going to the junior Olympic level here, you guys have a lot of Golden Gloves champs.
Yeah. We had I believe 6 Golden Glove champs this year.
Whoa, this year alone?
Yeah, this year alone we had 6.
Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah.
That is not easy to win. People don't realize the Golden Gloves are so competitive.
It's very tough. Yeah, it's very tough to win the Golden Gloves. I mean, you have to fight once, twice a week for a month.
Yeah. Kudos to you guys.
It's very tough.
Kudos to you guys on the growth. Kudos to you guys on having a great gym. Yeah, if you're looking to start boxing, give Lalo a call. It's a heck of a location.
I got to tell you, the times I've been in there filming for the Rumble, as people are training and such, I look at the people that are there, not necessarily just for the Rumble, but that are there just, training for upcoming fights or just to get in shape. And it really does. There's such a community at Lalo's gym. It just seems people are so in tune with each other and willing to spar and hold mitts and really cheer each other on. It really is, like you just said, sort of an infectious situation. And I know that for the longest time it was primarily men in the sport, and whether it's through MMA or boxing itself, women have really gotten more involved. And man, I've seen some of the women that you have boxing, they're training there. I wouldn't, no way would I want to. There was one girl just recently I saw, and she was hitting with power. I mean, you could hear the pop across the gym with speed bags and everything else in full effect, and you're hearing this pop off mitts, and it's a girl who's throwing these bombs. It was like, holy smoke! So, ladies, if you want to get in shape as well, that is a place to go.
I love that. I mean, atmosphere is so important in a gym. I'm very lucky to train with a great group of people that I train with, because the atmosphere, everybody I train with, from my boxing coaches to jiu-jitsu coaches to my training partners, are my closest friends now. Yeah. And I see that in you guys. You guys are all such close friends, and it's because you guys look out for each other. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's crazy. You go in the ring and you punch each other literally hard as you can in the face. And then you go out for a drink left.
And then you're buddies.
You're like, hey, that was good. Hey, jerk, you hit me pretty good there. Oh, that was a good body shot. Hey, you did this really good. And then we talk about it, and it's all good.
I love it.
There's nothing like, oh my God, there was a quote by Shakespeare. He who sheds his blood with me today will forever be my brother. Something to that effect. And it's the same thing. You're in there and you're beating each other up, and then it's all love. And then you go out and you cheer him on or her on, whoever, because we even get in there with the girls now. The guys spar the girls. Or the girls spar the girls, but it doesn't matter, because we don't see them as just, oh, that's just a girl, I can't do it. Like, oh, that's a boxer. She's going to kill me right now, or she's going to try to kill me, and she has the skill to knock my block off. I really got to spar with her. And we go hard with the with the girls, and that's why they're good. And we go hard with each other, and that's why we're good. But we spar often, we train hard, and there is a community in there, and it shows. It definitely shows.
Well, your passion is incredible. Every time I've ever been around you, whether it's boxing or not, again, you're a very passionate guy. You've done an incredible job at Oakley.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, it's crazy. We are actually at an hour, and usually we go 20 minutes round table.
Right.
I told you, if you just let him and I just kind of chat about things in normal, we'd be here for 2 more hours.
I was so happy when Lalo said yes to coming on the show. I've talked with him so many times at the gym when he's got a minute or two, but just great personality, great energy.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that train actually watching. Shout out to a bunch of people that were watching. But yeah, so guys, if you guys and gals, especially gals, because they got a lot of gals that are kicking butt there. If you guys want to learn how to box, get in shape, I'm telling you, you will not get in better shape doing anything other than boxing. I mean, boxing will get you in the peak shape.
Yeah,
forget
it
CrossFit.
really will.
Boxing's the way to go.
And you learn to defend yourself as well.
Defend yourself,
exactly.
discipline for kids,
Yeah.
just grit, hard work, consistency. You learn so much from boxing, martial arts. Give these guys a call. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me.
Hopefully I get back in shape. Maybe Do you guys have like kind of open days where people can come and work out?
Yeah. We do it maybe once or twice a month. We call it open sparring.
Okay, cool.
And we just put it on social media. It's where we invite everybody. I just put it out there. So all gyms are welcome. All boxers, all levels, come in and have and it's an all-day sparring sessions. All we do. There are a lot of small gyms out there. And since we're a large gym with 2 rings, we just open it up to everybody, and we get like 40, 50 boxers that come that specific day. I coordinate it. They hit the bags. They spar. They have a full day workout.
I love that. Good for you for doing that. Opening your gym
everybody, like we've had people from Green Bay drive down just for our open sparring sessions. Milwaukee drive over. Indiana. There was a gym from North Dakota that made the drive just to attend our open sparring sessions.
Wow.
So
Lalo,
it does very well.
If you think of it next time, give us a week's notice or thereabouts, and we can throw it up and tell people, because we do have, especially because of the Rumble, we have so many people who watch from different gyms and such.
For sure.
We'd be more than happy to put that out there and maybe attend. And I mean, he's faster than I am, but I would love to come over and throw some punches. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to invite Ryan Cotter too, because I want Cotter to get back in there with him. I want to see it again. I want to see the number 8 down his tattoo.
No, he's already on there.
He's already on there.
He's
it
already
can't
on
be a
there.
re-break
Yeah,
of somebody's
it can't be a re-break. It has to be somebody new.
Then John's nose, not mine. We'll make him 8, not me. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
so much
man.
for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
Appreciate it.
Guys, again, Brody strong, Chandler strong. It means a lot to their families. It means a lot to us. It's an incredible story. I'm going to put in the comment section of the video some links so you guys can go to GoFundMe, help the family out. Also, the email that you guys can send out a request to for T-shirts, because it's an incredible cause. Shout out to Chandler for how he got through what happened and to a continued recovery. And big shout out to Brody, who comes home today.
Absolutely.
Best of luck, buddy.
Yeah,
hope that things keep going on the up and up. We are looking forward to John, you want me to shoot back to you?
Yeah, just real quick. Besides everything that we were talking about with Brody and Chandler, I do want to wish my mom and dad a happy 59th wedding anniversary today.
God bless. Happy
Absolutely. So
anniversary.
my dad left us 7 years ago, coming up on 7 years, which I can't believe it's been that long. But they were happy going, lasted right through 50 years together, holding hands and smiling. Awesome. I know he's smiling down. My mom's out celebrating today. So I just wanted to wish them a happy anniversary and kind of couple up with what you just said as far as Brody and Chandler. We're cheering for you. You're doing great. Keep fighting the fight. And thank you very much, Lalo. I appreciate
And
it.
if
Back to you, Mo.
you guys would like to follow us, we're on Facebook and Instagram at Oakley Fight Club. So check out. We have a lot of videos of our kids boxing, of the classes, of daily life at the gym. So Oakley Fight Club on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, follow them. And follow AE Wheelhouse, too. Don't forget about us.
Yeah,
AE Wheelhouse.
AE
people.
Wheelhouse in there.
We're live every Wednesday, 3 o'clock. We got an incredible show lined up for next week. Like us, share us, love us, comment on our stuff. Tell your friends about us. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Thanks, everybody.
In 3, 2, 1.